Okay, everybody, this is officially just the weirdest day right now. So we just got the word, and I scrambled to get this video optimized as quick as I could. But apparently, Johnny Gaudreau is going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I am absolutely in disbelief, as many of you probably are. Johnny Gaudreau going just, I mean, it's this is the offer he takes. Supposedly, there was more money on the table from the New York Islanders and the New Jersey Devils. Supposedly. Still trying to get word right now, seeing whether or not that is true or not. Nothing is guaranteed, but this is John Davidson swooping in and completely just taking everyone off guard. This is unbelievable. Can't say enough for the job that he did with that. See, we got a comment right now. Hey, Julian, Columbus. Uh, like Anthony, I'm baffled by this. Absolutely baffled. What's your take?
Yeah, I'm scratching my head about this. I really don't know. The only thing.
Yeah. I mean, OG Drums just said it best. Why didn't he just stay in Calgary? They would have probably paid him, and he would have been on a winning team.
I mean, he left Calgary to go to a place that stars just X out of. I mean, I don't I am very surprised by it. He essentially passed up the opportunity to play with Jack Hughes or Matt Barzell to play with Jack Roslovic, Cole Sillinger. I mean,
Patrick Laine, possibly.
I mean, Laine's a wing, but yeah, but still, typically he could have played with an elite centerman, and he chose to go to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm like you said, I'm shocked. Columbus. I mean, it's a nice city, but I mean, there's a reason why a lot of guys X out of it. And also too, they're not close to winning. I mean, Kent Johnson is a good prospect. They have Cole Sillinger, but they're not. They don't have anything special on the back end really. Elvis Merzlikins is a decent goalie, but I'm just really perplexed because you heard all about this. He wanted to go home. He wanted to be on the East Coast, and Columbus, Ohio, isn't really close to South Jersey.
No, it's not.
So, yeah, I'm just really baffled by this. I mean, I haven't heard anything on the Devil side of it yet, and you don't know if it's totally accurate. But Pagnotta tweeted that the Islanders didn't really have an appetite to go over $9 million. I mean, if that's true, I know I'm a big Lou guy, but if that's true, that's almost I want to say almost a fireable offense for not going to match what Columbus gave him or go over 9. But you know what though? At the end of the day, the Devils are the team that really should be embarrassed because they had $26 million in cap space. $26 million. They could have given Gaudreau 10 and a half and not even blinked. So the fact that and again, I haven't seen any numbers come out what the Devils offered, but I mean, if the Devils couldn't top that offer, I mean, shame on them. But yeah, I really, honestly, I really don't know. Like I said, I'm just shocked.
And by the way, he's definitely not ripping the city of Columbus. It's
no.
just
I'm
going
just
with
saying,
what.
yeah. There's a reason why a lot of stars like Panarin and Dubois and Duchesne and Bobrovsky, all these guys wanted out. So it is really, really perplexing. The only the only thing that I can really say is, and again, I don't know if it's substantiated, but there are people saying that obviously his first choice was really the Flyers, but they couldn't make it work, and that being that he was a Flyers fan, maybe he felt that there was no way he could ever be an Islander or a Devil. But I mean, I think that's a little childish. Once you get to the pro level, your allegiances are gone, and you play for really whoever gives you the best opportunity. So, but listen, I don't know. It's like I said, it's a big win for Columbus. I just think that Gaudreau made a poor decision here in terms of his future for winning and whatnot, and financially too. Calgary offered him a boatload of money. And he said no because he wanted to be close to home. Now, granted, he's much closer to home in Columbus than Calgary, but still, it's not like he passed up. He passed up a lot more money to still be somewhat far. So it's very weird. It's very weird.
I mean, I'm trying to make any sense of this. Why Columbus was this desirable location. And by the way, T-Moon, you should be celebrating. I mean, it's more, by the way, sometimes it's more about the organization than it is about anything else. But it also could be John Davidson wanting to ship things around. That's a huge win. And one of our contributors, Pete Mackin, was saying there was a mystery team that was in the works. I think it's just completely just taking all of us by surprise. And I think that's where everybody, and this is where you should be celebrating. Go right ahead. This is something like he passed up money. He left money on the table in Calgary and a team that could possibly win the Stanley Cup next year.
Yeah.
With now they got to rethink everything. And the organization has changed a lot, as you're saying in the comments right now. And part of it has to do with the fact that John Davidson's back. I mean, Yarmo, great move by him to go out and just swoop in there. And
he did.
I wonder if Fitzgerald and it's Yarmo Kekalainen, right? I have it right.
Yes,
that's a GM there. All right, thank God. But I mean, I think Lou and Tom Fitzgerald thought he was just going to sleep on it and that's it. And then Columbus just came in and went, I'll take it.
When those tweets came out like 5 minutes from each other saying that Fitzgerald and Lou aren't going to have any media availability, that was the thought, that it was because there's going to be no answer tonight and he's going to sleep on it. But in reality, that was reported because they probably at that point had heard that Gaudreau wasn't signing with them. And obviously being that they didn't pull any moves, either of them, that there was really nothing for them to say. But I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
I mean, Wicked saying Yarmo got him a great contract. Yarmo got him a great contract as well. Can't spell Lou without L. And
it's an L on Lou, but like I said, it's an L on Tom Fitzgerald and the Devils. I mean, this was the guys.
It's a bigger L for them. Yes.
This was the guy's home state, and they had a ton of cap space to work with. So the fact that they got outbid, well, assuming outbid again, I don't know. It hasn't really been reported what the Devils had offered. So I would imagine maybe they offered more, but I don't know. I have a hard time seeing would he really turn down more money playing Columbus rather than Jersey, because Jersey has a brighter future than Columbus. That's
and a more immediate brighter future. You could actually see that right now. And it's not that, and again, it's not that Columbus isn't doing their own rebuilding right now. And this could be like the Artemi Panarin signing for them. It's just, wow, this really did come out of left field. I'm looking to see if this does have the domino effect on Twitter right now to see who's going to fall now. Because now, if you're Lou Lamoriello, are you calling Andre Palat and seeing what you could get there? That's what we said. Or is he calling Vladimir Tarasenko, seeing if he could pry him away from St. Louis, or a couple other guys like that, trying to get him in trades. It's just this one. this is almost like the reveal of Kaiser Soze at the end of The Usual Suspects. You're just your jaw is dropping at that.
Yeah.
And I had to
Lou
lay down
has
and take a
to,
nap. I woke up
and
to
New
this.
Jersey.
And New Jersey.
And New Jersey too. But Lou and Fitzgerald have to pivot now, and see what happens. It's that you need a plan B. And I'm not defending the Islanders. I just said it's almost a fireable offense by Lou if he really wouldn't go over 9. So I'm not defending it at all. Actually, I'm just saying I just can't believe that Gaudreau would pick Columbus over the Islanders or the Flames. It's really
a total
really
shocker. And again, Anthony has brought it up just now. He did say, first things first, it's fireable offense for Lou. If you can't attract free agents to this team right now, clearing up lots of cap space. I mean, Lou, by the way, there was rumors of him possibly wanting to have retirement not so long ago. So
well,
I mean,
he's 80 years old. I would imagine that he doesn't want to do this forever. But we'll see. Again, just a surprise. I know there was the report that Columbus came out of nowhere with a 12-year, 7-year, $12 million deal. I guess that might have been obviously false, but nonetheless, they were the kind of secret team in there. But again, it's a shame that they missed out. But again, if I were a Devils fan, I think I'd be even more mad, being that you guys had $26 million worth of cap space and you couldn't find a way to sign Johnny Gaudreau.
would $10 million have gotten that done?
Because the Islanders, realistically, they couldn't have gone to 10.5 with their cap. They obviously could have done 9. They probably could have done 9.5, but 10.5, they couldn't do. Even if Lou wanted to do it, which probably would have been a little too hard to make it work.
I mean, this is where, and Shannon Mills is saying it best. And I'm going to go back to Wickeds right now in a second. But beyond disappointed, yes, you have to be beyond disappointed, especially being an Islander fan on this. Wicked is saying, I am so disgusted, disappointed, disillusioned with Lou and the direction of the Islanders. I just don't know how they get better. Had so many things going for them and they still failed. Now, keep in mind, plan B is on the horizon. Don't know what that is, but we're going to find out about that soon. So, and Joseph is saying right here, if Gaudreau left money on the table in Calgary, then he probably would have walked away from more money in the Devils and the Islanders too. But again, those two, geographically speaking, fit to what you were looking for. I mean, you said you wanted to go home. So was the Flyers a bust? Was that it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do think that if the Flyers were able to make the cap work, I think he would have been a Flyer. But the Flyers couldn't make it work. And by the way, Chris Johnson says Johnny Gaudreau's 7-year deal comes in at $9.75 million.
Wow. 7.9.
So
sorry,
just shy
9.75 million.
Just shy of 10. Yeah,
that's amazing. By the way, MJ, welcome back. Good to see you. And it's just it is remarkable that, I mean, is Lou's bugaboo I talk about that all the time, about guys that have bugaboos with injuries and stuff like that. And is his problem he just can't sign free agents? Is he not willing to commit to that?
I mean, no, think about it. He signed Ilya Kovalchuk with the Devils, that massive deal.
But he did acquire him first and then have him for a little bit.
Yeah, yes. He threw 11 plus at Artemi Panarin. I just think in this situation, due to their cap, he couldn't go to 10.5 million. So I mean, I think that's the thing. I
I
know
don't
I
know.
say if about a fireable offense, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they could have gone to even 10.5, definitely not 10. I mean, I'm not sure that would have topped Columbus's offer. I don't know if that would have got it done.
And
But
before I get to a good question right here from Andrew, Rick also pointing out just after we went off air, Max
yes,
Pacioretty became a Carolina Hurricane in a total salary dump move. And it's amazing that they would do that to a guy who's produced so much, but that's what Vegas does. The shiny new toy, they move right on to the next thing. And
yeah,
and it's amazing how they double down all the time. But we're going to
yeah.
go to Andrew, who is bringing up exactly what you talked about, I talked about during the live stream, which was Jesus, almost 10 hours ago, Anthony. The Islanders plan B, you would say, is going after Tarasenko, right?
I mean, it should be. It was said that he didn't rescind his trade request. I just don't know if St. Louis is going to accommodate him. They didn't accommodate him last year. They might not accommodate him again. I don't know. My my guess is that he maybe pivots to Naz Kadri. I know Elliot Friedman, the other day assumed that maybe both the New York teams were going to be in on Kadri. Maybe he pivots to Kadri. I don't know. Andre Palat is still out there. Nino Niederreiter.
I mean, it was supposed to be the changing of the guard with the Islanders. This was going to be the time where they go out, they get a Philip Forsberg or a Johnny Gaudreau, and instead they don't end up with either. Unfortunately, Tommy's point right here is right. What's the last big name free agent? Well, it was Andrew Ladd. Andrew Ladd was the last one. Gaudreau signed 7 years, just short of $10 million with the Columbus Blue Jackets fuse. So there you go. And that's where Ron right here, right about that. Palat, I would say, would be close, if not Palat or Tarasenko, because Burakovsky is in Seattle now.
Yes.
So I'm having trouble trying to look at the list and seeing what else is there. Does this get Lou to pick up the phone and call Jim Rutherford and try to get JT Miller out of there? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I mentioned it with Romanov. No one really had Romanov linked to the Islanders or even knew that the Canadians were going to trade Romanov. So Lou could go the trade market and he could trade for someone that we never even thought about.
And that's what Lou does, because when you're a Hall of Fame general manager, that's always what you do. There's always a plan B. There's always a solution that you never saw on the radar. Pretty sure none of us saw Brian Rafalski becoming an all-star.
No.
But it's
I
just,
think I think this is the question a lot of people are asking themselves. Like I said, a lot of players have demanded out. I said the list before: Panarin, Duchesne, Bobrovsky, Seth Jones, Pierre-Luc Dubois. So a lot. Uh,
and
it's
again, this is nothing against the city of Columbus or the presentation of games where they use the Civil War cannon to every time a goal scored, which I can't wait to see that with Mark on the road segments. But you could hear Anthony's struggling for words right now, because as far as where they are in their rebuild, it doesn't seem like this is a logical move.
Well, he doesn't clearly. I don't think he prioritizes winning too much. That's one. um, and then much was made about going close to home, and he picked a place that's not even that close to home. So, I don't know. Maybe it changed things for him once he knew Philly wasn't an option anymore. and maybe he kind of expanded his area, if you will. But again, I don't. Again, I know there's the report that I think it was Peñota that said the Islanders didn't have the appetite to go over 9. And he's great, but honestly, we'll never know if that's true or not. If it is, like I said, borderline fireable offense, but we won't know. So,
or at least not yet, because he still has
no,
to. You still got to see what the next plan is.
yeah,
Because if you tell me his next plan is Tarasenko, then I don't care about Johnny Hockey anymore. You telling me his next plan? We've outlined all these.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if he trades for a Tarasenko or a JT Miller, something along those lines, then you know what? Then really all is forgiven there. But we'll see. I think now the plan is he just needs to regroup, shrug it off, and he's been around a long time. I'm pretty sure at this point he's already acting like it's no sweat off his back and that he's not bothered by it by one iota. But that's the attitude he has to have, and he needs to pivot. And honestly, the Devils do too. The Devils have $26 million of cap space now. You need to be at the floor. And I'm assuming after they give Jesper Bratt an extension, they will be at the floor. But they have more money to spend.
Well, looking at already some of the other comments that are coming in, Tarasenko, I have to do the math on him for a minute or just look it up, but he is over 30. I think he's like 31, but he only has 1 year left on his deal, and he's coming off an 85-point season. I know I've said that word 85 points a lot today, but it's because a lot of guys have had 85 points. We have 124 of you right now watching the stream. You guys have been great all day today, and we got a bunch of new names that are in here. It's just, it's amazing. MJ, I'm going to get back to Vinny Trocheck, but right now, this is where the story is. Anthony, you got to look at Ron's comment right here. Who do you think is a better fit for Barzal, though?
In terms of,
I guess, Tarasenko or what's left, or even you could add Gaudreau on that.
Tarasenko, who's left? Yeah, Tarasenko for sure. Sniper. Barzal's a playmaker.
And that's if Vlad Tarasenko they're going to honor his trade request.
Yeah. They might not.
Yeah, because they didn't. And last year he put up a career year. Vladimir Tarasenko is 31 years old. I was right. So that's just, again, guys, this is all shocking. Jarmo Kekalainen, what a great job that he did. And I mean, just, and by the way, MJ, don't worry. This is, you can always look us up in the other stream on that one. But you got Tarasenko, you got Palat, and T Moon. Thank you very much. But I you know what? I have to also agree with you on this. The Devils are the ones that you like, wait a minute. This fell in their lap and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, it's almost like they got the ball in the bottom of the ninth with no one on base and a 3-2 count and 2 outs. And all they had to do was just throw it by, and that was it. Get 1 strike. And instead, they blew the save. I mean, yes, the Blues GM, it's not Armstrong anymore. I forgot who it is right now. But he was looking around, trying to ask for a lot last year when Tarasenko had the shoulder injury and coming off of that. This time, he's probably going to ask for a lot, but he only has 1 year left on the deal. So that's going to be about it. And Sharks Boy is saying, by the way, welcome to the show. Why would Gaudreau go to Columbus for supposedly less money? NJ is his home, isn't it? Well, he's actually South Jersey. More South Jersey guys identify with being from Philadelphia than actually just being from Jersey. So, Columbus has no money to sign Laine if they want to. Head scratcher. That's an interesting case. I'm going to check on that one right now.
Columbus
And
has their projected cap space right now is 3.4 million.
what the hell do they have money on?
Voracek.
Okay, they'll move him. I guess. I don't know. There was no
Well,
salary retained.
that's gonna be very hard to do. He's got 2 years left at 8.2 million. So that's gonna be hard for them, very hard for them to do. And like I
You know
said,
what?
Patrick Laine is an RFA. They need to sign him. So
Yeah. I mean, Anthony, I'm looking at some of this, and now I'm baffled. And you only have one goalie. Elvis Merzlikins is still tied up till 2027 at 5.4 million. You got Jake Bean that's right there. I mean, what are they doing? What are they doing getting Johnny Gaudreau?
I don't know.
And
I guess they're gonna have to if they want to keep Laine, they're gonna have to either trade him or they're gonna have to try to get rid of, like Scott saying. But Bjorkstrand's a pretty good player for them. And he's got a modified no trade clause, so it might be a little difficult.
yeah, because now actually looking at this blueprint, now it's making even less sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Voracek was okay in his return. Like that's, I think they would have to move Voracek. That's the first one that I would think about. But where's the taker on that one?
I don't think
For
there is
2 more
one.
years at 8.25 million.
Think about it. If the Flyers had an astronomical price to try to move JVR with 1 year at $7 million, the Blue Jackets aren't going to be able to move the Voracek with 2 years at 8.25.
Now, Eric is saying this right here, 141 in the chat. But Anthony, can the Islanders be targeting Patrick Laine? I mean, you could go get Patrick Laine or the Devils for that matter. You go get him now because now Columbus is cash strapped. Laine started to look like he had a home and found a home there. He's still only 24 years old. He's an RFA. We've gone over this. He only has about 3 million. I don't know if there's a guy that right now. Oh, by the way, and Anthony, Boone Jenner is on IR on this. So there's 3.75 million right there. That puts them over the cap. So that's because Boone Jenner is going to play as the fucking captain.
Yeah.
Alex Texier is another one. This might have changed around a lot because now you can start calling up Columbus to pick apart players. So again, Bjorkstrand and Gus, we've been over some of these. They could put a talented top line on there, but I mean, Mason Keith. I think that's why everybody's shocked about Columbus. Their contracts are. I mean, it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
still looking at the John Klingberg for that. Anthony,
I don't. I mean, if you would have told me before the day started that Johnny Gaudreau would sign with the Blue Jackets, I would have told you. Well, I would have laughed at you, and I would have said there was a 0% chance of that happening. And
I would have agreed with you.
And I would say 98% of the hockey world would agree. And I mean, good for Jarmo Kekalainen for swooping in and doing what he did. But I'm surprised, and you're right. It's going to be interesting to see what Columbus does now. Our Laine needs a contract, and having $3 million in cap space isn't a recipe to getting that done. So we'll see if they could do some cap gymnastics here and move somebody.
I mean, and there's a tweet right now from Harmon Dial. I hope I said his name right, that it's not Dale. but the Flyers had enough cap space for Rasmus Ristolainen and Tony DeAngelo combined $10.1 million, but not enough for Johnny Gaudreau. There you go.
Well, I mean,
Rasmus Ristolainen cost you Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah, but it's hard to say because they got Rasmus Laine last year, so I mean, it's hard to, they didn't know for sure if Gaudreau would reach free agency. So I mean, that part's a little unfair, but hindsight's 2020. But yeah, but you're right. The Flyers did put themselves in this situation to not be able to bid on Gaudreau, though. That's for sure.
And I'm kind of furiously going back to Twitter right now to keep on going. Hey, what's the next guy? What's the next domino? Because there's got to be one. By the way, 166 of you guys right now in the stream. Thank you all very much. And also, don't forget to, and I'll go all the way back up. Smash that like button and like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. We got a lot of hockey content and a lot more brilliant insight from the man to my left with the hat. It's just he's just a little speechless at the moment still. I'm speechless. I mean,
Vegas formally announces a 3-year extension for Riley Smith at $5 million AAV.
So Riley Smith over Max Pacioretty. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. I like Riley Smith as a player. He's an original Golden Knight. So I'm going to go to Wicked's comment right here. What bothers me just as much is that Lou stuck at $9 million and wouldn't budge while seeing all the other free agent options vanish. Why not up the offer?
Well, again, you're right. And as I said before, we have to operate under the assumption that we don't know for sure if that's the case, that they wouldn't go over more than 9. But if it is, then yeah, I 100% agree with you.
And now I have to have a Red Bull for this. Because, I mean, Tommy's asking, would Patrick Kane, and there are reports Patrick Kane would be interested in moving to the Islanders.
Well, yeah, I told you and Phil that from my source that the Islanders, Rangers, and surprisingly enough, Avalanche would be in the mix for Kane. But with that said, a lot of other sources that said as of right now, Kane isn't moving. So
yeah,
I put the kibosh on nowhere. That. No,
and now, by the way, go ahead. What was that?
Not yet, at least. I think if the Blackhawks are bad, which we probably know they will be, they'll move him at the deadline when they're out of it. Excuse me.
All right, Mason Keith right back in. Laine probably wants to stay there now. May not be his only choice if he goes. But here's the problem: they're going to have to figure out a way to get a lot of money off the cap. It has to be at least Voracek and someone else in order to get off the cap.
Yep.
IR is always valued in the offseason. Shark Boy, you're 100% right. Or Sharks Boy, sorry, I didn't pronounce the K right, or X, idiots. And Scott is saying, living in Columbus, we needed someone to change the narrative of nobody wants to play in Columbus. This is how you change the narrative. Thank you, Yarmo. Which is exactly the narrative that Lou's been trying to change for the last few years. But it's and they obviously qualified Laine, obviously. So now it's still a matter of negotiating. This just gets even stranger. I mean,
it's very strange.
And by the way, hi to a lot of guys that are joining us for the first time. Mr. Daniels, I just don't want to screw up your first name. I want to say it's Yako, but I wasn't sure. Why the Penguins want to be the old men's club? Well, it's because they still have all their old men. That's the reason why. And they just keep signing everybody around that age. Adam is saying, if we trade Gustav Nyquist at $5 million, we could sign Patty for 8.9. Oh, that's Gustav Nyquist. Let's see. He's making 5.5. He has 1 year left on his deal. So that actually can happen. Because I know
See,
sometimes
the problem is with moving guys like that is if you look at cap friendly, there are like so many teams right now that have less than $7 million in cap space. So if you're a team and you're going to trade for Gustav Nyquist at 5, that's going to leave you with very little cap space. So um, it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that. I mean, Anaheim, New Jersey, Calgary, Arizona, Buffalo, those are really the teams that have a lot of cap space. Everybody else is kind of middling.
well, and again, Scott, 100% right on this one. If I found out I just had the top free agent in the league sign on my market, I'm ready to sign on the dotted line. Thing is, Patrick Laine is, I think you got to look at least, I want to say 7 million for him, maybe a little bit more, maybe 8. I don't know what his qualifying offer was. I forgot to check that out. So it's up there. You're not.
Well,
he's not coming back for league minimum, guys.
well, now we know that. Now that Gaudreau's gone, I would imagine Kadri will probably come sometime tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting what team he lands with. Like I said, not a lot of teams have a lot of cap space, so I know Colorado was trying to make a pitch to keep him, but right now, if you look at their cap situation, they have 3.9 million in cap space. So I don't see how they would realistically make that work. They just signed, Lekin into that extension, so now he's on the books for $4.5 million. They would, and they re-signed Manson. They would probably have to trade a guy like Sam Girard. It would be my guess. Trade from a position of strength.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the most logical one. They just won a Stanley Cup without him. We were kind of thinking that his injury would have a little bit more of an impact on their playoffs chances, and it didn't. It didn't at all. So they were able to win without Sam Girard, but that'll get them an asset back in that case. DP, by the way, thank you very much. 142. Actually, we're 154, and we were at 175 at one point. This is you guys are all signing on. Great job by you. John, I'm going to look at your comment again. The Devils shall look at 4 names to get via trade. Laine, obviously, that's a good one. Tkachuk, Tarasenko, or possibly Scheifele from Winnipeg. Now, with Gaudreau finally gone, either Calgary pivots to find another forward to put up on that top line that's a premier forward, or, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's where Patrick Laine could go. But
I mean, I wonder with Calgary though, does Matt Tkachuk just sign his qualifier, which will take him to UFA next year? Because I could see with Gaudreau leaving, I could see him possibly wanting out.
And let me keep going with that thought. If you're the Calgary Flames, do you go through this again? The answer is absolutely not.
I mean, it shouldn't be. If you just saw what happened in Gaudreau, and Kachuk's indicating that would be his plan, I would think you would have to move him now.
Yeah,
it would be irresponsible to not and keep him.
Yeah. And I know when people say about, oh, there's the no facial hair policy. Thank you, Romanello, to say this. But the Yankees have a no facial hair policy. They're one of the richest sports organizations, and nobody has a problem going there. It's something of professionalism, and some guys like it, some guys don't. That's about it.
Kyle Palmieri has the thickest, most ridiculous beard I know, and he's obviously on the Islanders and shaves it, so I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue either. Yarmo trade. Go ahead.
I was just suggesting suggesting the Flames have to get Kadri. I mean, that would be. I mean, it wouldn't replace Gaudreau, but it would be a good get for them. I just think before they try to add someone like that, they have to find out what Kachuk's intentions are, because it really wouldn't make any sense to keep to sign Kadri, and then you're just going to lose Kachuk too. You might as well rebuild at that point.
And again, going back to the Colorado Avalanche, they still have to re-sign Nate McKinnon to an extension and find out how much they got left over for next year. Because he's only, like I said, he's only like $6 million and change, and then it's going to have to go on.
THG
what do you think about that one?
Has been asking this a couple of times now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be maybe a little unfair to say that. Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, if Clutterbuck wasn't there, that's more money to put towards the cap. But
Zach Parise, they cost him that. It was $1 more million.
With Clutterbuck, without Clutterbuck, if the Islanders offered, $9 million, if that's true, and Gaudreau signed for, 9 3/4, it Clutterbuck being there shouldn't have had any effect on Lou trying to top that. But it is what it is. It's like I said, it definitely came as a shock. I didn't think there was any way that was happening.
Chris Frost is saying Kadri would do something crazy and sign a deal with the Sharks or something weird. GJC is saying, I think Niederreiter would be a good fit for the Devils. I agree with that 100%. I mean, he would probably go right on that line with Jesper Broughton. Nico Hischier. Name skipped my mind for a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeremy Jackman, thank you. There was a $7.5 million qualifying offer. So, yeah, I was right. It was at least $7 million that was on there. I was off by $500,000, unfortunately. But this, and Chris Frost is still saying, oh, no, by the way, Rich, they got the 2C. Vinny Trocheck's a second-line center. He definitely is. And you can even move Vinny Trocheck down to a third line and see if he can change around guys and maybe even play better with Alexei Lafreniere and Capo Caco, and maybe even move up Filipino and be more of a shoot first guy with Panarin, because that's what Panarin would probably do better with. But again, this would have to reignite some conversations with JT Miller, see if they can go get him. But now it's a question of, can they do that? Would be very Devils to go get JT Miller too. Yeah. There's a lot of guys scrambling. There's a lot of guys scrambling right now.
All right. So finally, some intel. Mike Stevens says, he's a writer, blue check mark. It says the New Jersey Devils offered Gaudreau north of $10 million AAV on a 7-year deal, and he chose to go to Columbus.
So he wasn't going to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And he doesn't think the Devils have the right pieces in play? Like,
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Turtle Punch, by the way, thank you for getting on the show for the first time. People act like Columbus was a total dumpster fire last year. They ended up 500 with a super young team and had their best scoring year ever. Well, they also got to keep the puck out of the net. That's another thing they got to make sure that they do. I'm going to check that number up in a second, see where they were in goals against. But, yeah, I mean, the coach did a great job. He's getting them to believe in their system. And, it could be another stepping stone. It's just that this is sort of like a monumental step forward. It's not like, say, for instance, when you have, like if the Rangers a couple years ago getting Panarin was no surprise to me.
Yeah.
Or if it's like a big market doing it. All right. So most goals against in the league, Anthony, 317 by the Montreal Canadiens. The Columbus Blue Jackets are 5th with 297. Now, they did have 258 goals for, which is good for them. That puts them 258. Puts them at 14th in the league. Johnny Gaudreau is obviously going to help them fill the net. So,
but the thing is, Johnny Gaudreau isn't scoring 115 points in Columbus.
I don't think so either, but that's a hell of a.
I mean,
that's a hell of an expectation to put on anybody.
His line that he played on with Matthew Tkachuk and Elias Lindholm was a really, really good line. So, yeah, again, Kudos to the Columbus Blue Jackets. No sour grapes there. They did a great job. They got their guy. Islanders and the Devils take the L. And like I said, fireable offense by Lou if he literally wouldn't top that. At the same time, even bigger L on the Devils. I mean, you offered a hometown player north of $10 million, and
you couldn't get him there.
He still took less money to go to Columbus, and it was said he wanted to be close to home. I mean, that says a lot about the state of your franchise.
Yeah, and it's an unbelievable thing. And you look at Calgary. Calgary, they landed Markstrom a couple years ago, and that was sort of a notice of, hey, we're going to invest in this team. I believe Tanev was also one of the guys that they got on this season. We are up to 197 of you right now on this stream. This is the most we've ever had. Our station is continuing. Our channel is continuing to grow. Thank you all very much. 200. We're at 200, Anthony. So
awesome.
Everybody,
awesome
do not forget, and we always would appreciate if you can like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. We have a lot of good content, and we're trying to always expand on everything we're doing. Back to the matter at hand, because again, this is so like dumbfounding. It's unbelievable, but it's like I'm sort of speechless. I was taking a nap after the free agent frenzy and woke up to this. Columbus has done such a good job. If they could find a way to re-sign Laine, I have to agree with that, because I think that's the thing. This is a win if they re-sign Laine. Now, if you look at Gaudreau, Anthony, he's a playmaker. He's going to make everybody on that team so much better.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose Laine or they trade him to get back another asset, I'm trying to think of teams with a young defenseman that they could trade Laine for. Sort of like how Columbus did this before years ago. Ryan Johansson for Seth Jones. If they can get another trade like that, I think that
that should be, because I was going to say, I mean, Merzlikins, obviously he's some rungs below, Igor and Ilya, but he's a decent goalie. For me, it's their defense. So if they could make a trade like that, Seth Jones for Ryan Johansson, where they trade Patrick Laine for a young defender, that would be really beneficial. Because like I said, I'm not a huge fan of their D, and I think a lot of Blue Jackets fans would probably admit that. I mean, that's one of their weak points. So if they could swing a deal like that, that would be beneficial. Because you know what, also too, I'm sure they prefer to trade a guy like Nyquist or etc. But as you saw, Voracek, you saw the price for the Flyers to move JVR was way too high, and that's why the Flyers essentially don't have Johnny Gaudreau. Teams know that Columbus is strapped now and they need to sign Laine, so they're going to hold them over a barrel. Because yeah, sure, we'll take Gustav Nyquist, but you're going to pay for it. So that's the issue that they could run into. So we'll see how Jarmo navigates that.
Which, by the way, that was one of the points you brought up during our 6-hour live stream. That imagine if we started at 9 a.m. like some of these other guys.
Yeah.
But
no, the answer to this, no, I don't. I honestly, because it would have been a total disaster if the Islanders offered more money and he went to Columbus. We offered less money, and I think that's ultimately what did it. If Lou offered $10 million like the Devils did, who knows? Maybe Johnny Gaudreau is a New York Islander right now, but he didn't. So I don't think he turned us down because of. Doesn't think he win with the Isles, because I'll tell you right now, the Islanders are a lot closer to winning than Columbus is. So I think it was ultimately the dollar signs that did it in, which is why I'm so furious at Lou.
But one thing, going back to the point I started to bring up before you went to that comment, you brought up during our live stream that then the Islanders, if they went to 10.5, that would give them $500,000 to try to re-sign Noah Dobson. Of course, they can go over by 10% on the salary cap in this month. And then you would have seen teams trying to step up to go get Noah Dobson and offer sheet him. But also, by the way, keep in mind, Noah Dobson's It's not a bidding war. Noah Dobson would have to sign that offer sheet.
Yes.
So,
yep. And the other thing too, maybe you felt if he went 10.5, because I think they have right now, they have a little over $11 million in cap space. So we just confirmed that.
while there's a slight pause, I'm just going to say this.
Yeah,
Everest,
11.
I don't know where Tyler
11
Mott is, and I can't believe he hasn't signed. Anthony, keep going.
11.1. So if you offered Johnny Gaudreau 10.5, and they took it, you're talking they're left with maybe a little over $500,000 in cap space. That would have been too hard to do. I mean, Noah Dobson alone is going to probably command, depending if you do bridge or long term, you had a 50-point season. You're probably talking at the very minimum, $4 million. So I mean, they would have had to have moved Bailey and Varlamov, and at this point, the goalie market's really weak. So who would they get to be the backup? So yeah, I don't think 10.5 was realistic for Lou. Could he have matched 9 3/4 as well? Maybe 10. Yeah, but I think ultimately to have Lou feel like he could pull everything off, I think 9, unfortunately, probably was his limit.
Now, I got to say this. There was 238 of you in this stream right now. Again, thank you for everybody for making your comments and bringing it right now. This is still a stunning moment, as Tyra Games is saying it right here. Thank you very much, by the way. Welcome to the show. Nick is saying, Gaudreau to Columbus makes no sense. Yes, he didn't want to be in Canada, but he wanted to be closer to home. His parents live in New Jersey. Columbus has no good pieces compared to the Islanders or the Rangers. The Islanders or the Devils. I actually think that's not exactly true. They had a very strong draft last year. We were talking about Cole Sillinger. His father played for almost every single team in the NHL. And I believe had his first 30-goal season with the Islanders, Mike Sillinger did. And you look at some of the things in net, you're going to Elvis Merzlikins versus Ilya Sorokin, and Tommy, who's been killing the Islanders all day. He's at least still saying Ilya Sorokin's no slouch. Ilya Sorokin is a budding star in the goaltending market. So if you're choosing the goaltenders, I mean, Merzlikins, and by the way, I hope Merzlikins has all the success, especially after the tragedy that happened last year. But it's one of those things. I'm still trying to piece this together, how exactly they sold it. I mean, great job by JD and again, Yarmo on this.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. And Michael's right about that. Huge.
Right.
I mean, again, I keep going back to the Devils. The Devils had over $26 million in cap space. How in the world do you not get your man with that much money? And Gaudreau is from New Jersey. It's the fact that Gaudreau turned down 10 plus from them and took less is just it's very it's quite hilarious, actually. The Devils should be very disappointed tonight, I should say.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a little bit of Johnny Y on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Brandog is saying it right here. We don't care if he doesn't score 115, 70 points. Would be great for us. So right there, there's less pressure for Johnny Gaudreau right there. And, again, Columbus Blue Jacket fans, you should be excited because this is, you're not taking on salary. This is, for the sake of taking on salary, sort of like Voracek last year. But they're not dumping off players. This is adding. They're trying to add. They're trying to win.
And
Great thing for this organization.
If I'm a Calgary Flames fan, I'm actually even more furious now because at least if I was a Flames fan, I'd rationalize, okay, if he signed with the Flyers, that was his childhood team. If he signs with the Devils, it's it's close, and it's the state he grew up in. Or if he signed with the Islanders, it's a big market team. new building, good pieces, etc. You could kind of swallow that. But for him to leave the Flames to sign with the Blue Jackets that no one saw coming, and prior to this, a lot of stars at X were out. I think that kind of probably grinds the gears of a lot of Flames fans.
It would definitely grind the gears to me, because this was a team I picked, me personally, to win the Stanley Cup, the Calgary Flames. Johnny Gaudreau was leaving it to go back home. Easy to understand. You go to Philadelphia. Oh wait, you're not going to go to Philadelphia. Well, you're from New Jersey, so you go to New Jersey, or you go to the Islanders. Now I got to agree with you, and I'm going to go right back to one of these comments, to Velo 2, who was saying, honestly, Calgary should just start their rebuild now. And it sucks to say. It really sucks to say, because again, this was a team I thought was going to win the Stanley Cup. That's how good they were.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Abbey is asking, whatever happened to that $12 million offer from Columbus? My thing is,
Yeah,
it probably
that's a
didn't
little
exist.
bit of a head scratcher. I don't really know if that actually happened. But
see, our brilliant mind are still stumped by all this. This is how it is. 305 of you are in the chat right now. Thank you all very much for joining us. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I was going to bring up the graphic, but at least please hit the like, because we're always trying to do our best for you guys. And it's, again, just for Calgary, now Matthew Tkachuk is on the block. That's the way you got to look at it. Go get the qualifying offer. Go move him somewhere else. And I wonder what team is going to jump on that. Maybe that's the New York Islanders right now. Why not go after him? There are so many dominoes that are falling, and we still haven't even gotten to Andre Palat yet, everybody. So Duncan is saying, I'm choosing to believe Gaudreau left money on the table to get Gabranson and his family money in term to settle down in Columbus. And Columbus was the only team that could accommodate that. I think that's a little bit hard to say, because Gabranson was the afternoon, like early afternoon, when he signed. So I don't know if that's how coordinated you are with that. That's almost like NBA levels of coordinating with other fans.
Well,
other free agents.
I would like to I would like to ask, when we get that player on from the Hurricanes, Mark, to join us. I would like to just ask what his thoughts are, because just as other players, I would imagine some of them are probably dumbfounded too, that Gaudreau picked the Blue Jackets. But again, good for the Columbus Blue Jackets and the fans there. I'm really happy for you guys. You do deserve to have a star player want to go there after Duchesne closing the door on you guys, and Panarin and Bobrovsky, Dubois. You guys all know it well and been through it. So good for you guys. Just unfortunately, the Islander fans deserve that to happen too, for a star to pick our team, and but not to be at this moment. But is what it is. All you can do is you take your L and you move forward, and Lou's going to be faced with a tall task right now. He's got to get a score, because the team needs help scoring goals. It's just clear as day. Not playing under Trotz's system will help. I think that will open it up. I think Barzal will provide more offense. I think Nelson will provide even more offense, Palmieri. But they need another guy that could really put the puck in the net. So I guess the comforting thing is that he almost acquired JT Miller, and he was in on Gaudreau. So he's looking for a scorer. I just afraid that the options are dwindling. So.
Well, obviously, Gustav Nyquist might be right back on the table. That would be a guy that goes right up the Islanders' alley. But one thing that just surprises me, and just always makes me think about this: everybody keeps on ripping the Trotz system. You know what? You know what's better than scoring a bunch of points? Winning. I mean, Matt Barzal, his most productive season was under Doug Waite, and they gave up more goals than every team for like the last 30 years.
They are they're definitely going to be more offensive minded. That's for sure. I'm not saying for sure that Barzell is going to be 85 points again, but his production certainly is going to go up under Laine Lambert. I think that's a fact. They just need someone to staple him to the ice with, and that could really help him go bring his game to that next level. And it's just so unfortunate because Johnny Gaudreau playing with Matt Barzell would have been like watching poetry in motion. The two of them skating out there together with how much speed and skill they have. That would have been a beautiful thing to see.
Perhaps even hearing Sweet Georgia Brown playing.
yeah. But not the case.
So. I mean, I also got to say this, Anthony, because a guy that played on a line like that, I'm going right back to this name yet again, Andre Palat. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was able to play with two immensely talented players in Kucherov and Stamkos, and it takes talent to be able to do that, to be that third linchpin on there. And Palat is certainly that type of guy. Sharks boy, I want to ask you this question while you have it up here and you have this comment. I wonder if the Sharks are beefing up their D to make another move, Vlasic or Carlson out. I just wonder if you like it that they traded Burns.
Yeah, it was speculated that they would try to move Burns or Carlson, and if they could move Carlson, that would be fantastic for them because that'd be another huge contract they'd shed, and that could really open up a lot of cap space and also help them, in kind of retooling, rebuilding. I don't know if I see it happening, but I mean, I guess it's possible. But step one was accomplished when they moved Burns. I just don't know if there's a market out there for Carlson right now. We'll have to see.
Anthony, as far as Vlasic and Carlson go, three of the worst words you could ever utter to fans on this day. NMC, no move clause.
Yeah,
both of them. It's absolutely the worst. Whereas you got a couple guys on ELCs that are right below them on there. 274 viewers still joining us right there. Thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to us. We're a budding channel. This is how you grow, and we'd love to have you back. And yes, we have some really good guests that this guy right over there lines up. If you haven't seen our interview with Ryan Miller 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and he was fantastic to work with. There's a lot of other things that are right there.
Ryan Miller was definitely a good interview. I really enjoyed that.
And also, while you're at it, check out my best hockey video games of all time. The Blue Jackets did draft two defensemen, but realistically speaking, you're looking at 2 to 3 years before you see them in the NHL. Very rarely does it ever happen. But just want to read Velo's comment before I get on there. What playoff contenders? Actually, here you go. What playoff contenders do you think may miss the playoffs this upcoming season? And what teams that missed last season do you think can make it? And our first answer would be the Eastern Conference, the New York Islanders, probably getting in, and maybe even Boston getting out, or Washington. And mine still is the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks were fantastic under Bruce Boudreau. So we'll see about that one. Sorry to everybody in Calgary for that.
I've been saying for a while, I've been expecting the Penguins or the Capitals to kind of fall off. For the last 2 years, I've been predicting it, and it hasn't happened. I know the Penguins are essentially bringing back the same team, Malkin, Letang, Raquel. Still not sure what's happening with Evan Rodriguez, but I would say right now I would actually be more inclined to pick Washington. Nicholas Backstrom is going to be out for a large part of the year. And Darcy Kemper, Charlie Lindgren, total new goalie tandem. I know Kemper just won a cup, but I think playing for the Capitals, I don't know if he'll be as good. We'll have to see. But I just feel like eventually the Capitals are going to fall off, and I could see it happening this year based on their play in the regular season and how their lack of success in the playoffs the last couple of years. So, we'll see. But, it's so hard to predict on day one of free agency because there's still going to be other moves that teams make. A lot of these rosters aren't anywhere close to finalized, especially with talent like Kadri and Klingberg, et cetera, still on the market. So a lot more moves to be had.
Well, by the way, at this moment right now, I'm glad my date canceled. So it's
Yeah.
yeah. But so there was a comment earlier that was on here. Do you think it had anything to do with Barzell and Heischer both wearing 13? If
No,
it comes down to your jersey number,
no.
I don't care how much you're getting paid. Go fuck off.
Yes.
And this is coming from the guy with the 43 on his hat. Take, for instance, Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes wore 43 his entire time. He doubled it to 86 when he got to the New Jersey Devils. And his brother still wears 43 in Vancouver. So it's a jersey number is a great thing. It should never be the be all end all.
Yeah, I mean, see some Devil fans on here. I'm curious to see what you guys' reactions are. I mean, as an Islander fan, I'm mad, but I would assume that you guys as Devils fans would be really mad based on there was a lot of smoke about Gaudreau, you guys being the favorites for Gaudreau to sign there. So for this to happen, I would think you guys would be pretty, pissed off, especially if you offered north of 10 and he still rejected it.
Yeah.
Well, that's tough. But I mean, there's the thing about it is, and I said this: if Gaudreau went to the Devils, they were going to be a dangerous team. My thing is their goaltending. Blackwood has been hurt a lot lately, and I don't know how high the expectations for him anymore are. And Vitek Vanacek, I mean, let's call him like he is. Vanacek's I would say he's a average goaltender. Nothing special. But
and Jonathan Bernier is still on that roster too.
Yeah. But you know what? Maybe Colorado proved that you don't need an elite goalie to win. But to counteract that, Colorado wasn't just your normal team. I mean, they were like the Harlem Globetrotters out there. So, yeah, I think the Devils getting Gaudreau, similar to what the Rangers were with getting Panarin, I think it could have really maybe accelerated the Devils' rebuild there if they would have signed Gaudreau.
I got to highlight this comment, Anthony, and my apologies if I butcher your name at all. Amito or Grazia, but he says one of my good buddies is best friends with Johnny. He was desperate for the Flyers to shed salary because he wanted to come to Philly, which again makes sense. It's your childhood dream. Chuck Fletcher didn't, and he was not going to the New Jersey Devils. So it's one of those things I can't help but just I'm amazed. And one of the comments before came in. Actually, it was a tweet that I read on there saying that basically the Flyers chose Tony DeAngelo and Rasmus Ristolainen over Johnny Gaudreau. That ain't good.
Dogs.
And yeah, well, that dog's a cute dog, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, well.
he can yell every now and again. Submission machine. So Patrick Kane said he's keeping put right now. I don't know where Mott's agent is, so we're gonna get right back to that. Caletta, as an Islander fan, why am I not surprised? I got suckered yet again. I give up.
Well, I feel that. You asked Mark. I was, midday. I was starting to feel really good. I'm like, there's been very quiet. This reeks of Lou, and I thought we had a real shot. And who knows? Maybe if Lou would have offered 9.5, 9.75, 10, maybe it'd be a different story. But unfortunately, we'll never know if that would have been the case. So it sucks. But again, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm happy for the Blue Jackets and their fans.
Yeah.
And also, too, when something out of the blue happens like that, it's just good for hockey, to begin with. Just some exciting news that no one saw coming. But
immediately, if you're a Columbus Blue Jackets fan, you're going to have more games on TNT and NBC now because they just signed Johnny Gaudreau. Is he a needle moving star? No, not really, but you could easily market him in the States, especially right now.
He's American-born player.
Yeah. Romanello is saying that Trocheck's has a limited no trade clause in years 4 through 7. But again, you'll see what that is in a little bit. That's not something. Frank is saying, I'm not sure why you got to Columbus and not, or I guess I'm not sure why you go to Columbus and not the Islanders or New Jersey. Well, you know what? If he does what nobody else can do, he'll be a legend there, and nobody will
Well,
ever have
and
to.
also too, money talks. You see, you wouldn't have thought that was the case with him, being that he turned down a lot of money from Calgary. But at the end of the day, Columbus, the Islanders didn't offer what Columbus did. I mean, not the case with Jersey. It seems like Jersey offered more, but at least with the Islanders, again, money talks. Columbus offered
Yeah.
more. He took the money. So,
By the way, back to 301, up now down to 300 people on the chat. So everybody, thank you very much for joining us today and we were supposed to do a quick one. We're already up to an hour. This is unbelievable. You guys have been great. And it's certainly delaying me going out and getting drunk tonight. So Dan Rosen on NHL Network said, oh, sorry, Anthony, what was yours?
I may get drunk anyway and drink my sorrows away. We lost out on Johnny Gaudreau.
Dan Rosen on NHL Network said he zoomed with Drury, and Drury said that they were lukewarm on re-signing Mott. And again, I believe that 100%. Tyler Mott is a Chris Drury guy.
Yeah, I thought I saw a comment from Chris Drury before that said regarding Tyler Mott that signing him would have made things a little too tight. So it doesn't really look like Mott's going to be back with the Rangers.
I think he would try to move around a couple things and make sure he gets to pay Mott. But also, you need
have a couple of cold ones for me, and maybe hope that Lou actually does something that makes Islander fans happy, as we're happy for you. Well, at least I am.
I will be honest with you. This was a glass of monkey shoulder from the last Rangers playoff win. So it's been sitting on
Mark,
my desk.
You know what I was thinking? How many teams in the league today did not sign a single player or make a move? Because obviously the Islanders are one of them. I don't know.
Okay, so you got the Islanders.
But the Islanders.
I don't think Calgary signed anybody.
Who?
Calgary didn't sign anybody, right?
Yeah, they did. They signed Rooney and they re-signed Zadorov.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. All right. Anaheim? Oh, wait. They signed Vetrano.
They signed Vetrano.
LA, did they sign anybody?
You know what? I'm not sure.
Have the Dallas Stars signed anybody? They were rumored to be signing Klingberg, but I don't know if they signed anybody yet. Anthony, Tony P is saying R.I.P. Laine. Laine.
Yes, Lemieux. The Kings, they re-signed Lemieux. Yeah, so you're right.
Okay, they re-signed Lemieux.
And the Stars, you mentioned the Stars. Did the Stars sign anybody today? I think they did.
I don't think Montreal signed anybody. Top of my head.
Or so maybe then there's a couple of teams that didn't. Yeah, the Stars signed Mason Marchment.
I know Nashville was close with somebody. That's right. The Stars did sign Mason Marchment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all that cap space. But do you think this signing could actually end up making them lose Patrick Laine?
Again, I don't know. I mean, I think their first preference is to move a Gustav Nyquist. I mean, I wouldn't think they'd want to move Boone Jenner, but I guess given the choice, they'd rather move him than Laine. So I'm sure they'll explore those options. If they can't, then yeah, maybe they, like I said, they can make a hockey trade where they trade Patrick Laine for a similar aged young defenseman. I don't know who that would be off the top of my head. I mean, I'd have to like spitball there, but yeah, Laine for an equally talented defenseman in age. I mean, that's possible. And yes, thanks, Jeremy Dallas and Colin Miller. Forgot about that one. So so I guess there have been a couple teams. The Islanders, the Devils re-signed Mason Gearston, so they did stuff. Arizona did stuff. Buffalo, Ottawa, there's probably not many, but point is, Lou's got a lot of work to do tomorrow.
Oh boy, howdy does he. Zadorov back to the Flames. There was it. I don't even know what you're referring to on that one, Tommy, but that's a great line to just kind of walk right into. I only kill. Dryden Hunt is still a New York Ranger right now. Hunter Skinner is a much better hockey name. That is 100% right. I have a hard time to believe that Korpisalo will stay in Columbus. If that's the case, I don't understand where exactly he's going, because, by the way, that's a funny. That's I know it's LeBron, but still, that's a funny one. I like that. But Corpusalo, I mean, I don't exactly know where he's going. The goalie market is kind of the musical chairs is done. Everybody's already got their goalie.
Corpusalo is under contract.
He is under contract, but it is for they would be able to shed $1.3 million to get him off of there. There's still a lot of. You want to talk about somebody that's got a lot of work? Jarmo Kekalainen has a lot more work now to do because this team's got. No, we said before, Boone Jenner is on IR on cap friendly. That means that money's got to go back on, and they only got $3.1 million. So, but JD plans for stuff like this. He's up for the big splash. Let's see where we got right now. 2,324. We've had over 50 subscribers in one day. Everybody, thank you very much. And we'll always go for more. We're ready to get our cult going. Okay, JD stole Panarin and Johnny Hockey from the Islanders. All right. But here's Daniel. This is where I have a problem with this. Gaudreau didn't want to sign with a rival of the Flyers, and the Flyers screwed up their cap and couldn't sign him. But if that's the case, I mean, Columbus is in that division. So eventually there's two things you have to worry about. It's what's here in your heart and also the logo on your crest. And he's choosing Columbus. So now he's a Columbus Blue Jacket. It doesn't matter if he ever wanted to be a Philadelphia Flyer. That'll be for the last year of his career then.
Well, I mean, the whole rival thing, I know the Devils and Flyers are rivals, but I mean, the Flyers and Islanders aren't really, I mean, they don't really have much of a rivalry. I mean, in the 70s and 80s they did, but I don't know how much of a rivalry is really there between the two teams.
It hasn't been there in a while. Their rival is more the Pittsburgh Penguins because of all the playoff series they've had against them.
My point was, I don't think Gaudreau was sitting there saying, I don't want to play for the Islanders because I was a Flyers fan growing up and I hated them. I don't think that really exists.
By the way, everybody, I just got to mention yet again that our Manscaped sponsorship, use promo code BAH for 20% off and free shipping. And let's get back to your comments. They absolutely do. He's an important part of their future. 50 points in his first full season. He's a gem in the making. So probably bridge him. I don't know if they'll go long term, but he's a priority for sure. And again, he's one of the reasons why I think that Lou Lamoriello was really hamstrung with beating the Blue Jackets offer. Again, I don't know if he would have been able to go much past 9.25, whereas the Blue Jackets gave Gaudreau 9.75. So, yes, he's an RFA. And they also have to sign Romanoff, and he's an RFA too. So, you figure between the two of them, let's say 5 for Dobson, maybe 3 for Romanoff. That's around maybe $8 million or so of cap space. I'm just looking up where the Blue Jackets fell last season in the effort to try to make a wild card. The Islanders were out of the playoffs at 84 points. Blue Jackets at 81 points, but they were actually under NHL 500. So it wasn't, and that was this comment right here. They nearly made the playoffs. But you know what? You just added a 100-point score, and again, one of the comments that said before. Sorry, I forgot who it was at the moment. But if Johnny Gaudreau scores 70, that's a huge win. That's a huge win for the Blue Jackets.
So now Pierre LeBrun saying that the Devils made an offer to Johnny Gaudreau, believe it was 7 years north of $9 million, whereas the other guy said it was north of 10. So who knows what to believe? I mean, Pierre LeBrun's more reliable than the other one, but I'm surprised if Gaudreau was only getting offers for a little north of 9. But I guess maybe that's what the Islanders and Devils thought his value was. So kudos for the Blue Jackets for probably giving them the highest offer.
And Anthony, just furthermore, if he gets to 70 points, Johnny Gaudreau, guess who was the last Columbus player to score 70 points for them? That would be Artemi Panarin. So it's if it's a goaltending situation, you can always acquire a goaltender, and sometimes goaltenders can just come out of nowhere. If it's the defense, that's a different story because I still think the Devils' defense needs a lot of work.
Yeah,
you can also, by the way, check. I did a write up on them at the end of the year of the Devils rebuild. They just need to focus on that. Anthony, sorry.
Damon Severson's he's okay. Ty Smith had a good rookie year last year. He was kind of and then Dougie Hamilton for the money he's making. I don't think he has as good a year as he would like to have. Siegenthaler's okay. So yeah, I mean the Devils could definitely improve their D, but their goaltending situation I think definitely is their weakest link. But I mean. I think again, Gaudreau did his homework on all the teams that were interested in him before today, but in the end, again, money won out. I would suppose, so not much you could do.
And again, thank you to all the first time guys that are joining us right now, like I Show Speed, and right over here, Striker League. Again, everybody, thank you very much. For those of you that subscribed, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button because we love doing this and we got a lot more content all summer long going for you. So even if you want to sit back and watch us as we do our live streams, or if you just need a video to watch when you take a dump, we're perfect for everything. So,
well, I'm gonna say that. I mean, 9:00, obviously at night, not impossible. I wouldn't really expect too many other moves. I think hopefully the Islanders and teams that kind of struck out today strike at some point tomorrow. But I'm gonna sign off. I gotta get the little one to bed and do some things. But Mark, I don't know what your availability is tomorrow, depending on what moves shake loose. If you could hop on for a little bit, but I'll try to do so.
Definitely before noon, depending on what moves come down.
Okay.
So we're going to be looking at that. Probably you got to figure Nazem Kadri is coming down. I got a 155, 150 tea time tomorrow. So I got already some plans on that, and I'm going to be feverishly checking on my phone throughout this entire thing. If worst case scenario, obviously you could jump on by yourself with that. But wow, this has just been. Yeah, this has just been amazing. I'm actually going to go I'll do another 7 minutes, guys. So everybody, thank you very much.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Mark.
I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hopefully as soon as tomorrow.
So once again, recapping, Columbus fans, congratulations. Islander fans, New Jersey fans, ouch. And this is I think every other Metropolitan division team just went like that because it has been, I mean, it's so many things that it's just $12 million in Canadian. I hope it wasn't that. Every single face in Columbus has to smile right now. Yeah, I think everybody does because this organization was gaining some traction back when they had those really good seasons about like 4 or 5 years ago. And like they were taking attention away from Ohio State. That's how good they were doing. So I would love to see I'd love to see them be good. There aren't many organizations I ever want to see bad in any sport. Cue the Nelson laugh. And he's going to be booed when the Jackets play the Flames. Well, Gaudreau is going to be booed no matter what. The question is he going to be booed by the Devil fans? Being like, or is it going to be definitely the chance of, we don't need you? So I'm going to get all the way down to here. I'm going to get it all the way down to here for Arthur. Welcome to the show. As a Devils fan, I'm not mad or embarrassed. Clearly wanted the Flyers and obviously wouldn't sign with a rival. But the thing is, Columbus he's still playing against Columbus. They're still in the division, and he can knock the Flyers out of the playoffs. This is why sometimes when it's like, oh, Columbus ain't a rival, they're not yet. And the Islanders did not sign a single person today. That is correct. And that's where we were right there. Neil, hey, happy drinking. And by the way, since we do this for our bar talk segment, first we'll start with a beer. Cheers. And I'm buying around for you. In case if you guys don't know, we do a topic every single week where we're gauging our confidence on NHL topics based on our choice to drink. It's either I'm buying everybody around because you're so confident, a beer because you feel so, or we got this angry shot guy that's right there to go in there. So let's get back to some more of these comments. I'm going to go to 905 right now. Maybe 910. Okay. But good for you guys. Good for you, Neil. So, I see that so many of you have never been to Newark. I've been to the Newark Performing Arts Center for Bill Burr. That was about it. And again, MJ, I'm still in disbelief on that one as well. Frank, thank you very much, because we do talk a lot of hockey, and we got a lot of things we're still planning for the summer. Max, I'm getting to yours. That's a good comment down there. Wow, 9.75 million is 12.65 Canadian. Wow. If that was the tweet that they were trying to say. Are Johnny and Gabranson boys like that? I don't know. I don't know if they're boys like that. I've actually never heard them having a friendship right there. The season prior to the Canadians looked as though they were going to dance their way to the cup and fill shorts. I guess that was last year's Canadians, because this year's Canadians was no good. Lou must go. And I think it's a good city. I'm going to go see it eventually, because I'm trying to do the Mark on the Road segment where I go to visit these cities. And Columbus is on my radar. I was hoping to go there, especially for an Islander Columbus game. Now that just got a lot more interesting. Maybe Mr. Matthews should go too. Oof. Mr. Matthews, he's got to be looking at those deals and wondering, what am I worth? Because Toronto's on the clock. Newark is rough, but the area outside of it, Morris County, is beautiful. Nobody talks contracts in Canadians. Danny, you're right about that, because the players are paid in U.S. dollars. That's the reason why they're always paid in that. Vincent, nothing wrong with Newark as long as you don't go outside. Okay. I bet he's getting $12 million salary for the first couple years, and then it drops off after that. I'd have to check those numbers as well. That's interesting right there. Jeff is saying we are thrilled here in Columbus, but don't get it either. You know what? Sometimes you don't ask. Billy Joel didn't ask questions how he got Christy Brinkley. We'll say it like that. And a matter of fact, he was dating Christy Brinkley and Elle McPherson at the same time. So learn the piano, I guess. Newark is a good reason for Johnny Hockey not to sign with the Devils, but as they outlined, it's just the outside areas. And I'm just gonna skip over that one just in case. But the worst is in Jersey City. It's terrible there. Okay, Camden is worse than JC. The Islanders are starting to get a little bit long in the tooth. You got to wonder what they have in the cupboard. Happy National BJ Day. Wow. That is I didn't know that was a thing. And it's a good thing, I guess, that my date canceled tonight if it's National BJ Day. So yay. But at least I'm able to do this with you guys. 215 of you still watching me. I can't believe that you're still watching me. It's like that Simpsons episode where it's like, man alive, there's men alive in here. So I got to throw this up once again for everybody. If you haven't done it already, make sure you like us, subscribe, and hit that bell. Going to 915. We're at 904 right now. I think I've already changed that a couple different times. So But I'm still have to hit the shower and go out myself. Let's get some more. Let's get some more of your comments down right here. So don't forget, New Jersey's capital is Trenton. Nothing wrong with Newark, right around the Prudential Center. I know, Alex, you're saying I won't win in the trot system, but defense wins. I'm going to go back to this all the time. You win by keeping the puck out of your net more than putting it in the other opponent's net. Even the Oilers had to figure that out in the 80s. I mean, most of that was Grant Fuhrer, but that's a different story. So going once again. Yeah, Sam. My friend is actually going to get to the bar a little bit later, like around 10. Wait, Columbus signed Johnny Gaudreau already? Yes. They got Johnny Gaudreau. They haven't done the press conference or anything like that yet. Wicked is saying, I personally wouldn't want Miller, 29, on an 8-year contract. It would be 7 because only Vancouver could give him 8s. Same thing with Palat. Again, only 7. I hope it's Tarasenko or Laine. Laine would definitely be the more attractive one if the Islanders could get it to him. 173 of you right now still in this chat. Thank you all very much. I miss Palat. Sorry, I'm going to miss Palat. Ugh. And by the way, Ryan, hey, I haven't seen you on here since I did the stream when I was in Tampa for that game. All right. The Mandalorian is speaking. Speaking of Jersey, Johnny Hockey turned down New Jersey for Columbus. Yes, he did. And if it's for fan perception or if it's fan, again, you got to be a professional and get whatever you can. But man, I don't see this. Oh, how about this one? Chris, I need to just check that and make sure, because if that's the case, Gustav Nyquist back to Detroit. Looking into that one right now. And grading day 1 of free agency. Who's the one that's doing this? And has the Rangers at a D? Sure. Absolutely. The Rangers have a D. Oh, and Claude Giroux gets an A+ for the Senators. And the Flyers get a C+ for losing Johnny Gaudreau. Sure. We'll just go with that. All right. So let's say Gustav Nyquist is going back. That's actually pretty good deal for Detroit. 1 year at $5 million. Still waiting on that. Zadorov re-signed. Still looking to get that. But in any event, I'm not going to waste more of your time looking for that one. So Nyquist would be loved wherever he goes. Great personality, great player. Fantastic on the PK, and when it comes to scoring short-handed goals, Gustav Nyquist is sort of like everybody. If in baseball you talk about Juan Uribe was such a great teammate, he's another one that's like that. Everybody loved that guy. Everybody loves him, and don't ever just play that down. A player who is loved in the locker room is always a good thing. It's a lot better than a player that's good and is hated. All right. We didn't win anything, just made the conference finals in 2 shortened seasons. Oh, the Islanders. Yeah. Well, Cy, if that's the way you pronounce the end of that, I understand what you're saying, but it took still a lot for the Islanders to get there. I never want to diminish that accomplishment. Sean, that is what happened. That Johnny Gaudreau is signing with Columbus. So, wow, you guys still have a lot more comments in here. Johnny Hockey turned down more money with the New Jersey Devils to sign in Columbus, and that is exactly what is happening. It is amazing. By the way, if you haven't done it, of course, smash that like button for us. I literally take a nap and wake up to this shit. Jalen, that is 100% right, because that's exactly what happened with me, and now I'm on this. We're 90-minute stream. We have streamed for 8.5 hours today. or 8 hours today. That's unbelievable. And it was exhausting. The one thing I'm glad to see is that there's no trolls right now. So both draftees just signed their ELCs. That's unbelievable. If it's 9.8, you got to wonder what's going on with that. Neil is saying, with Johnny wife's pregnant and her being a nurse, Columbus is actually a great town, easy traffic, great hospitals, perfect town to raise a family. And I believe you on that. Ohio's a great state. I have family from Ohio. I mean, they're all in Arizona now, but that's a different story. But that is true. Castro is saying, do you know if the Rangers bringing anyone else in? Not yet. Still, Tyler Mott is on their list. They have about I want to say it's $3.5 million on their salary cap right now. Going for 5 more minutes, everybody, and you've all been great. All right, they got 5.5 right now on their projected cap space, but also keep in mind 1.5 million is Sammy Blais. That's still listed on injured reserve on cap friendly, so that is going to come off. Vinny Trocheck has a 12-team no-trade list that kicks in 2025 and a 10-team no-trade list in 2026. So what that tells me is that the New York Rangers are going to move him in the 2025 season or the 2026 season, I mean. Because if he's got 12 teams, you're going with that. 10 teams the next year in 27, 28, and then 6-team no-trade list after that. So Vinny Trocheck won't be here at that time. Hopefully the Rangers are successful with that. Getting back to this. Tim in Ohio, happy for the great content. Tim, thank you very much. And again, we were not going to trash the city of Columbus. That's a very good city. 256 viewers. Yes, it has dwindled since you've had to look at my ugly mug for a little bit. So my apologies on that, everyone. Matthew is saying, with respect, as a Devils fan, we have the assumption, Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, that 2 of the top 6 that are small, adding a 29-year-old 5'7" forward would be a bad idea, I guess. I agree with you. That would be a problem, but it is a little bit more talent-driven league, skate and shoot. We'll see what the Devils have planned on that because, the Devils still have lots of pieces in place. And the 5th line needed this. Absolutely. James, welcome to the show. Hope you guys are liking all this. Like I said, and by the way, Ryan, you're absolutely right about this. The East is going to be brutal this year. And the West, I think, is going to be a lot easier. I don't know if the E is silent on that, so pardon me on that. Hyundai. So, honestly, Gaudreau is chasing a cup, and it seems like he thinks Columbus has a better chance of getting him one than Jersey. I don't know about that. Devils tweak their goaltending. That might get them in the playoffs, for starters. And you still got the number 1 draft pick, the number 2 draft pick, 2 number 1s, a matter of fact, Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier. I don't know. I'm still not sleeping on the Devils, but Devils fans, I've been saying this all along, that I think Lindy Ruff is on a very short leash right now. And that's what you're looking at with him. It's if the Devils don't start out hot, you're gone by Thanksgiving. That is very short. And I'll even say if they add a Gaudreau, they would have to start out great. If they started out with a bad November, that would be very bad. Very, very bad. Devils GM, I believe, were upping the bid to box out the Islanders. If that's the case, then eventually somebody's going to accept the offer. As a fan of New Jersey, 1, he is South Jersey, big difference. I did mention that before. And 2, he is 29. Matt, you're right about that one. Turtle Punch is saying Cody Gudbranson signing makes, I think I gave him the wrong name, the first name, but Gudbranson signing makes more sense now. Underrated him. Gavrikov could be the solid shutdown pair, which the team needs more than anything. Mike Circo, is saying, where do you think Miller will go and for what? My thought still is Miller stays in Vancouver. I think their asking price is way too high, and that's where they're going to keep it. So, Mark, Anthony, you guys have been doing great. I've been able to watch since 3:30 this afternoon. Well, fortunately, we went off at about 5 o'clock, Dave. I came back and you almost had 270 viewers. Yes. Everybody, again, by the way, thank you very much. Colin, a Flyers fan. This is what you want. One of the people we want to hear from. As a Flyers fan, this will be a very long year for us. I put the word very in there because you really need it. And I guess we'll be in the lottery again. Well, John Tortorella is a great coach. He gets results. I look at the personnel on that team, and if I'm John Tortorella, I might punch Chuck Fletcher in the face at the way that he's kind of set him up there. Mandalorian, it is actually for me. I wore 43 when I was in high school, and I still wear it on every team I ever play on, unless 43 is unavailable. Because if you can't get your number, that's okay. There's other numbers. If you have to use 3 numbers. By the way, technically speaking, I wore this because when I was a kid, I thought if I ever make the New York Rangers, Roger Bear's 7, which is my birthday, is already retired. I didn't want to take 17. I split 7 up, came up with 43. So there we go. It's a much, much, much worse story. Chris Frost, I disagree with this 100%. I hate to say it, but I think the Rangers will miss the playoffs. We had 30-something come from behind wins, and I think next year we're going to lose more games and our division got better. I don't think the division got better. I think now that the division as a whole got better, but I think it's still not there. So, I mean, the most relieved team today is the New York Rangers. The Devils and the Islanders did not significantly get that much better. And don't forget, you got I almost said Ilya Sorokin, Igor Shesterkin in net. Is he going to have another 2.05 goals against season? We'll see about that. And his save percentage, of course, is unreal. It's unheard of to be up over the 930s. So I'm going to get a couple more of these. Like I said, I only got a few more minutes. And you guys, wow, you guys are doing great with this. I'm sorry that I'm trying to get to all these as fast as I can. Reynolds, people act like prospects are a sure thing all the time. They're not. They're called prospects for that reason. Welcome to the show, by the way. Zach B, how do you guys think Johnny handled leaving the Flames? I think okay. I think he did okay. I think he thought that he was going to be going home to the Flyers and going to sell that back, which if that's the case, that's an easy sell. But I don't think him going to Columbus. I'm a Calgary Flames fan. I'm pissed. Any Calgary Flames fans that are still in the chat, I've already said this 4 times. I will repeat it one more time. I picked the Flames to win the Stanley Cup. They had an unrealistic, I think 100 plus 170 in their top line. Even if Gaudreau was re-signed with them, and maybe Tkachuk would stay, and with Lindholm, they were unbelievable. Calgary needed to get more from their depth, and they weren't getting it. That was the only thing. I totally understand the feeling, Anthony. Not much of a drinker, but I'll grab beer as well. All right. I guess, yes. Turtle Punch, Voracek makes perfect sense, even though Voracek had a pretty good year for Columbus. Let's just check one more time. I said this earlier, but the last Columbus Blue Jacket to score 70 points in the season was Artemi Panarin, who's currently on the New York Rangers. But stats by Blue Technologies right now. Voracek had 62 points for the Blue Jackets. And the funny part is 6 goals, 62 points. Those are defenseman numbers. Good scoring defenseman, but that's it. John Sumner. I've started following the NHL this playoffs, and it surprised me when my grandfather told me that the Avs were very recently terrible. Yes, as late as, I believe, 2016, they had 48 points in a season. That is shocking to ever get that few points. It's unbelievable. But yes, we signed the spicy pork, and he's owning it. So back to the exciting stuff. Where does Kadri land? Right now, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, the musical chairs have kind of been spinning around. I got to look for teams. Let's go to cap friendly, see if I can find teams with the most salary cap space. Let's see. The Islanders still have $11 million. I don't see that happening. Dallas currently has $11 million. I'm not sure if he goes there. Calgary Flames have $19 million, but you still got to sign Matthew Tkachuk. That's going to be a big deal. Ottawa Senators have $19 million, but I don't see that happening. I can see him going to the Buffalo Sabres if they want to take their next step in their rebuild. The Detroit Red Wings have $11 million, and the Seattle Kraken have $10 million left over. So there's some of yours. And by the way, the team with the least amount of cap space, negative $7.1 million, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Wow. All right. The Flyers had 2 first-round picks, and the Florida Panthers. Flyers were willing to give up to the Florida pick, which would have been a late pick. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a second-round pick when you get that. Derek Stepan resigning. Wait, is that actually a fact right now? Oh boy, here we go. Ranger fans, it has happened. And let me get the money down for you. We were supposed to do this all day. It was supposed to take all day, not in the last closing minutes of the day. But Ryan Strome has signed on with, wait for it, the Anaheim Ducks to a 5-year deal. I don't have the AAV yet. I will go check that out. There is Ryan Strome right there. And this is one thing that we were doing earlier in the day, because when everybody was throwing around money, you got to make it rain. So let's go. All right. Once again, got to bring back that Manscaped thing right there. Wow. And Brendan Lemieux. We were talking, I think this was before when we were talking about guys that that were re-signing with different teams. Nashville, I trying to remember who they signed. I know Nashville landed someone. I mean, the Devils got to start thinking about making this team competitive. They really can't do that. Nick Romano, the Rangers should sign Yager. Sure, why not? I mean, the guy's 50 years old. He's still playing professional hockey. Dallas signed Colin Miller as well. Yeah, this is all still some of the other ones that we had on there. Keenan, I think this is my first time having you on the show. Thank you very much. Does Kadri go to the Islanders? He would be a good fit for the Islanders. I don't see it, because Noah Dobson still has to be re-signed, and there's still a lot that has to get in there. I got to check out the 2 things. I got to check out this Ryan Strome contract, see if it came out yet. Ryan Strome, 5 years, $5 million. Ranger fans, I'm going to repeat this. I've said it over and over again. $5 million for 5 years. I think they made a better decision with Trocheck. So that's just that. And let's check on Derek Stepan. I don't see him that he's re-signed yet, Christy, but we'll keep on looking at that. 9:23. I'm already 8 minutes over, but let me try to get through the rest of your comments as much as you can. You guys have been great. 162 of you are still watching us after an hour and 48 minutes. Check out our show. Check out all the formats that we go through. And we always try to have something entertaining. Rhino Den. Y'all Wilden, if you think they would trade Laine for a defenseman, they just drafted 2 insanely skilled defensemen. Laine stays, Bjorkstrand goes. Bjorkstrand's a good player too. I wouldn't want to give up Bjorkstrand. I mean, economics of the situation is going to go in, and as Yako's saying right there, Yarmo has the best blunt backyard. All right, I got to see that. Yarmo's done a great job, and after all, he was hired by Davidson, and then still works under Davidson right now. I still miss John Davidson. I wish he was there. There are lots of guys that don't want to play for Torts. Daniel, welcome to the show. Watching from Columbus. Going over to Theo right here. How do the Rangers replace Kopp and Frankie V and Tyler Mott? Tyler Mott's a little bit more of the difficult one. I happen to think Frankie V is replaceable by any of their prospects. I like Frank Frachano, but he had a couple good seasons. He started out hot, got really cold. It's something that just Frankie V will do. Everybody, don't forget, if you haven't done it with 168 of you right here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yes, the Islanders have to sign Dobson, Tommy, and it's been 8 to 10 years without Lou. How many damn top 10 picks do we need in a row to get good? That's a great question. It's a great question because they should be taking steps to go forward. I think it's a coaching, and watch a new coach come in, and I can't tell you who the new coach is going to be, but watch that. Easy saying Vancouver fans and YouTube shows were saying that they could get Laffy and Schneider from Miller. No, the Rangers are not trading Alexei Lafreniere. That is absolutely no. And you know what? They're not trading Braden Schneider either because he performed pretty well. Brandon, hi. Yormo, ship it out. Gus Nyquist. Well, you got to make room for Johnny Gaudreau. And Gus Nyquist, good player, great guy in the locker room. But again, it's an unfortunate side effect. But you know what? They shipped him out to Detroit. Good for him. Line for Sanheim. I don't know about Travis Sanheim. I don't know. I kind of like him, but I don't know if he's produced well enough to net you Patrick Laine. Tommy, you're right about that. As far as Noah Dobson goes, just like what John Malkovich said in Rounders, pay that man his money. So anyway, see, yeah, Lafreniere went at you, JT, Horvat, and Hughes. And I would love it if the Rangers could find a way to get Bo Horvat. But again, going back to that. Bus, by the way, welcome to the show. So the Rangers are done. What's left to go to Kakko? They still have about $4 million. I don't think they're using all $4 million on Kakko. He hasn't earned it yet. I think it's going to be like a bridge deal at 2.5 maybe 3 years. That's what I would say. And they're going to bet on him that he's going to get better. Laine isn't going anywhere. That is the hope. But yeah, Lafayette is going to cost you that for fourth line center. And that's such a huge asking price. Chris, all right. When you have the cap space, money is what you can do with it. Brandon, thank you very much. And by the way, Sam, Detroit, most improved team today. Hands down. And you know what? Juan, there's going to be Big Apple hockey hats coming in the future very soon. The apple is going to be right there. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's definitely going to be either this logo or just the hat that's right on there. So can't wait to show you guys that. Killjoy, yeah. And I mean, Lee, I can't believe that he left. I keep saying over and over again, what's one more time? I picked the Flames to win the Stanley Cup last year. So again, it's just, I keep going, by the way, further and further away from the center of my head. Got to keep this centered. We're at 9:29. I got to meet friends of mine a little bit. But you know what? Thanks, NHL, for giving me all this. I'll tell you what, if I get 100 likes, I will call Lou Lamoriello, and I'll also welch on that. So, yeah, here's the thing that I got to say that people are delusional about. JT Miller isn't putting up 100 points on a new team. I think he could put up 100 points again with the Vancouver Canucks. Don't forget, Elias Pettersson wasn't himself until about the final 2 months of the season. So the Canucks, I think he could be a lot better with them. So, and that's JT Miller moving back to the center. Sam Sports Shop. And I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that it keeps happening to you guys. Because after all, I actually got actual footage from Islander fans as soon as the news broke.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And by the way, GZ, welcome to the show. And you guys should be excited. Everybody in Columbus should be excited. And David, I think it might be on the docket. Got to go there. Got to go to Columbus to see a game now. I definitely want to go there to see a game and see that cannon blow off. So, but who does Calgary sign now? You know what? For 1 year, try to convince Patrick Kane to come over. You're telling me he wouldn't want to play for Daryl Sutter and a Stanley Cup champion? Calgary, by the way, that's another city that I would love to go see as soon as I can. I'm already planning 10 trips now. Jesus. Johnny's an idiot. He is now the most overpaid player in the league. Let's see who could even go anywhere near that. So right now, 2,345 subscribers. We have picked up over 75 subscribers today. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. And that's why I keep going. 151 of you is still listening to me. God bless you all, and I'm sorry about your bleeding ears. So let's keep it going. Still a little bit more. MJ is already back around. Just make it 9:30. I've already made it 9:30, and I'm already past that. David Wood. No, well, yeah, Patrick Nemeth is still in the league. He makes $2.75 million to basically be a cone. So, Cody, that's your answer right there. Johnny's 29. The Devils D isn't bad. And Luke and Nemec and the two blue chip Russian prospects in the AHL. But again, keep in mind, those prospects got to come through. I mean, Nils Lundkvist looked okay for the New York Rangers, for instance, but that's about enough. Devil Stadium in Newark is terrible. It is just as bad. I've been there a few times. I actually got to go see that, Eric. I haven't been able to go to see the Prudential Center. I've always heard that it's nice. So, yeah. Hamilton was drinking food for 8 weeks. Oh, yeah, because he did have an injury, but he's also got to be better than 31 points. And we'll see about Dougie Hamilton on that. No news on Klingberg or Nazem Kadri yet. Let me check on this. But hey, you know what? You got Ryan Strome signed with the Anaheim Ducks. Woo! That's a needle mover. I'm surprised he got $5 million, but oh wow. Everybody, I got to show you this one. So I'm gonna get that because Columbus fans, this is kind of funny. I got that right there. Let's add that to the stream. Not Nazem Kadri, obviously. Johnny Gaudreau. Watch this.
There it is. I'm not the only guy in the building who gets.
That's funny. That is funny that he's going to get used to it now. I'll tell you that one. Yeah, underpaid, not overpaid. Mark, the military says that the best defense is a great offense. Speed kills. Smother your opponent in the offensive zone. That way, you won't have to play much in your D zone. And look at the way Colorado plays. Yes, but that's also keeping the puck out of their own net. So, Funky, how you doing? Funky Toad. Let's go Jackets. And every Jacket fan that's coming in, you guys should be pumped. Did any of you Jacket fans think, hey, we're getting Johnny Gaudreau today? Of course not. Wow. That's just amazing. I mean, but again, Patrick Kane, as I said before, that's what Calgary should do. But if Calgary can't somehow, I guess, upgrade the team, I don't know what their next move is. I don't want to say go into the rebuild. They're too good to just go full-fledged into a rebuild now. Strome signed with the Ducks 5-year deals. Bolts, welcome to the show. Love my Blue Jackets. So the Devils traded off a ton of defense. They've been doing forwards for a while after Lou left. Yes. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. I haven't gotten down to the bottom. CJ Flip, I'm sorry about that, man. It's a tough day. It is a very tough day. Ducks Twitter account, of course, announced that. I haven't seen the sex bots yet, so. And let's check on Derek Stepan again. I'm still seeing that he's unsigned, but I would more than welcome Derek Stepan back on the New York Rangers. 32, maybe he can anchor the fourth line a little bit better. But which signing or trade, Ronald, seems weird to you? By the way, welcome to the show. The most weird sign or trade I still think is Matt Murray. That absolutely bizarre to me that the Maple Leafs want to pay $4.68 million for Matt Murray, who hasn't started 39 games in over 4 years. It's preposterous. If you're thinking that all you got to do is get to the playoffs and then Matt Murray's going to take you the rest of the way there, well, the last time Matt Murray's won anything in the playoffs, it's been a while. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me when I see that. I still haven't seen anything on Derek Stepan, by the way. So if anybody wants to update me on that, because obviously I'm flying solo at the moment. So I'm trying to keep no dead air right now and trying to keep everybody on. Oh, NYR Tim. Yeah, Ryan Strome hitting free agency. Just like him trying to hit an open net. Like, he totally faked out Thomas Greiss in that, and just unbelievable how he could miss. Nazem Kadri, let's see if there's any other news. Yeah, and again, all these are old tweets, so I don't see anything there. So let's get back. Let's get a few more of these in here before I have to get going. Okay, everybody's saying Derek Stepan's back. I haven't seen it yet. Let's check the New York Rangers, see if Cap Friendly added them. They still haven't added them, so I hope it's actually a true thing. And if that's the case, get rid of Julian Gauthier for the money. So there you go. Good luck to Ryan. I hope Kadri signs elsewhere. That crazy white boy. All right. Now that's a good name. And I love all you guys that are so pumped on this. Brett, I think the next solution or the next step for New Jersey is just go with their rebuild. Like, let me go to the Devils for a minute, because I haven't been focusing on what the Devils should do to pivot. They got a ton of cap space, but you got Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, that's all signed. Tatar for one more season. Andreas Johansson. Eric Holla came back in the Pavel Zacha trade. They still got to sign Jesper Boquist and Jesper Bratt and Miles Wood. Those are going to eat up some salary. So worry about that. I'm not sure what D is left on the market right now. I mean, Sigenhaller might need a raise. Ryan Graves, who they've already got, is 3.1. They only have 2 D-men signed for the 23-24 season, and that's Dougie Hamilton and Brendan Smith. That could be a problemsome thing for them. So they need to get some more defensemen. Grant, I can't believe Brent Burns went to Carolina. Anyone else? Yeah, I can't believe it either. And good for Brent Burns. And you want to talk about a team that's sort of a tweener team? The San Jose Sharks. They're a very tweener team. Like we'll go to them real quick, just for a second. Sorry about this, guys. Well, you keep me on here for longer. Still have to hit the shower. I haven't showered at all today yet. Come on. This is why I wish this all could have been done in the afternoon. The Sharks have Tomas Hertl and Logan Couture both signed $8 million for Couture, 8.137 for Hertl, signed to 2027, and as well as they got 11.5 for Carlson, signed to 2027, and $7 million for Mark-Edward Vlasic. And everybody else is on very reasonable, cheap deals. Timo Meier at $6 million. And if they want to rebuild, Timo Meier is is a guy that could actually net them something. But he's also a guy you could build around. He's still only 25 years old. So, but again, San Jose's problem, oh my goodness. Who's playing net? Aiden Hill, 26 years old, 2 point. You look at them, they got nothing. I mean, they got the rights to Capo Kakinen. So, I mean, that's something. All right, let's try to get through your comments and finish this up right now because I think I'm starting to ramble. Sorry about everybody. Now bring Dubinsky out of retirement and sign JT Miller. That's great. And thank you very much. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Renleys. So that's great. And don't worry about it. We cover everybody, not just the Rangers. We do focus Rangers Islanders. That's usually our central theme, but we go elsewhere. We'll always look for our Bar Talk segment, which is always every other team that's out there. So Shattenkirk, Danny G, Tony Walnuts, all costing the Rangers $4.5 million in buyouts against the cap. Yep. Oh, and Moritz Seider. Wow. Woo. So Chris, yeah, there it is. By the way, are you texted from Europe right now? We had 155 viewers. We got up to about 326. It has been incredible. The support you guys have shown today. If you haven't subscribed, already do that. We're already up to 2 hours and 6 minutes now. So we're going to be closing it out soon, though, guys. And Chubb, that's a great question because I'm still wondering how they get like more. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how do you fit Laine under the cap? I understand everybody's saying it's pretty much a given. They're not going to give up on it, but they're going to have to figure that out. I keep going through this. They got Boone Jenner is on the IR plus on Cap Friendly. That money's going to go back on. And Colin, thank you. Or sorry, Colin Allcars. So thank you on that. Hawk, Oilers' next move. There was some Oiler fans that were saying that they need to find a number one defenseman. You signed Darnell Nurse to a $9 million contract. He is your number one defenseman. So they got to replace Duncan Keith. I still think, and I'm not sure if Jack Campbell is the answer in net, but we're going to find that out no matter what sooner or later. Core, great seeing you. You did a lot of work today. I'm late. I'm here and devastated about Mott, which means, oh, where did Tyler Mott go? That I kept talking. So is it just that you're devastated about that Mott hasn't re-signed, or has he officially signed somewhere? I don't have Mott on a team yet with anybody. So we'll see about that. So the Hood. I wish more people realized how good CBJ will be in a few years. I think it's Yorsek, Matejchuk, Werenski. Zach Werenski is always an underrated player. And Gavrikov, they're going to be great. I think they could be. By the way, Velo, thank you very much. There's a lot that's in there. I like that everybody's laughing. I just forgot what the hell I was talking about. Got the joke. Jason, unfortunately, I mean, the Flames don't even know what to even make out of them right now. Islanders Devils dodged a bullet, and JD was a complete disaster with the Rangers. Good riddance. Ouch. I don't know about complete disaster because he got Braden Schneider. That was one of the ones that came over. Patch rated to Kane. Adam, thank you. We're probably gonna have a write-up about that, and at least we're gonna have a write-up about all these. Either Friday, I think I'll do one because it's still a lot more that's got to be talked about. If you're Kachuk, why would you sign with the Flames? That's a great question, Rick. It's also great that you're not a sex bot as well. So sorry about this afternoon. Anthony was trying to get rid of the sex bots and accidentally got rid of you. But at least we know we can get right there. Michael, hey, welcome to the show. Maple Leafs are so dysfunctional. Well, unfortunately, because, you know, it's like I think the Maple Leafs figure it out and then bam, Like, I don't even know what they even think about. 130 of you are still listening to me right now. God bless all of you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Freedom Breeder. All right. I was close to saying Gaudreau would sign with Seattle. He went to a non-contender. Well, as of right now, but they're going to be in the playoffs at least in the next 7 years with him. So there you go. Yeah, that Matt Murray situation still has me laughing. It doesn't make any sense to me. And his save percentage has gone down pretty much all on every single season. He's regressed. He went back up. I think he had a 906 this year. All right, now I got to look up Matt Murray. This is how I end up staying on for half my natural life. Matt Murray going right back to this. I love this saying. Oh, this Kyle Dubas is betting his job. I agree with what Steve Dangle says. Kyle Dubas and Brendan Shanahan bet their jobs at least 4 times. When are they going to lose? So, again, he hasn't played 39 games in a season since he played 50 in 2018, 2019 when they got swept by the Islanders. His final season in Pittsburgh, he only played 38 games, and there was a .899 save percentage and a 2.87 goals against. So he goes to Ottawa, .893 save percentage, 3.38 save percentage. Goals against, I mean. And then last year, there are analytics people saying he was okay. I still don't see it, everybody. And I mean, no offense to Matt Murray, but still. And if you check out my video for this weekend that I had, where I'm still trying to comprehend the Tony DeAngelo to the Flyers thing. By the way, once again, Chuck Fletcher, good job. Tony DeAngelo on the Flyers and Rasmus Ristolainen could have gotten Johnny Gaudreau. So Johnny Gaudreau probably plays more defense than they do. All right. Campbell has to be laughing at how they're replacing with Murray, and he's going to a real contender. Yeah. Sir Ghostly, the step on Game 7 goal. OT goal is one of my favorite reactions to watch. It still is. It's also, by the way, one of my favorite play-by-play calls to ever hear. And I'm going to close out. Well, actually, we're going to do a couple more of these because I see a couple new ones. Sorry. Friggle D. I'll be honest, the Kapranson signing was terrible 4 for 4 years. Kind of. But you know what? If he's boys with Johnny Gaudreau, does that mean it's a good signing? I don't know. Maybe Johnny's wife made the decision for him. Ohio is a great place to raise a family. You can live 20 minutes from Nationwide, have a 5-bedroom house with 3 acres and great schools. That's a great point, Gary. And by the way, that's one of those things that if you go back and listen to our interview with Ryan Miller does talk about it, where he thought about going back to Michigan, but also his wife was working on the West Coast. So they made it happen, both when he was in Vancouver and then when he went to Anaheim. So that's it. Jones, I'm going to check out the Hurricanes Twitter account. Those guys run such a great Twitter account. You might as well, if you're going to be a savage, go ahead, be a savage. By the way, everybody, if I haven't mentioned it before, I will mention it again. Check out Manscaped. Use our code BAH for 20% off and free shipping. And I mean, I'm using it. I'm not going to show you my chest, but I've been very happy with it, and it's certainly a lot better than buying a buzzer at CVS. Those things not only don't last, this one does. It's rechargeable. So the lawnmower 2.0, or 2.0, 4.0 is actually where they're at right now. I've been talking too much today. I think I'm actually having the muscles in my mouth starting to go down. So for the Devils, who is next? Can they land Pierre-Luc Dubois or Andre Palat? You know what? They got cap space. Go get Andre Palat. Might as well. That simple. You get a guy like Andre Palat on the New Jersey Devils. That's a great addition. That is depth. That is clutch scoring. That is a 2-time Stanley Cup winner, and that is the guy. He has got muy grande huevos. So, Figgle D, Columbus needed a big D man to eat up plenty of minutes, and that's where it is. Dave is telling me I may play hockey. I may be playing my first ice hockey game as a fill-in Friday night. Good luck to you, Dave, and I hope you do well. Friday night, I'll be serving drinks at Croakers. So feel free to come on down. Tell me how it is. And I'd love to hear how you did. Don't worry. We all fall down. We all make mistakes. So just go right ahead. I haven't played a game since I think the beginning of May. So I'd love to fill in, especially if I could fill in with my friend Dave Miller on his team. And pump it. Yep. Friday night hockey. Friday night hockey in July. Walking in shorts and sandals. And there's nothing like it. Of course, there's the rainstorms that might come in summer because New York, they just pop out of nowhere. Got always like that. I've actually reached the end of your comments, and I can't believe it, guys. I'm actually going to be signing off right here because I've got, yes, Dark Giovanni, perfect hockey weather. You are 100% right on that. I love the avatar, and I love the name as well. Yes, I guess don't forget to pee in my cup. Oh, sorry. Yeah, don't forget to pee in your cup. But guys, everybody, thank you very much. It has been a great day so far, and hopefully tomorrow morning there's a lot more that we can talk about with Nazem Kadri hopefully making a decision before 11 o'clock so we can cover that with you, and also breaking down some more of the other stuff. You can read more articles on us on the Big Apple Hockey Podcast.com. You can, Devils fans, you want to see my thoughts on the season? I have it on there. I did a review of the season, obviously, before this all started. And I did wonder aloud if they were going to get Johnny Gaudreau. Obviously, the answer is no, unfortunately. But there's still plenty more. But we've got so much more we're doing. We're expanding our roster of writers every single week. And there's so much more that we're doing. Please check us out. And, of course, check out Manscaped once again. Yeah, park your ass in front of the net, Dave. Although, unfortunately, your ass got smaller. So, so it might not be as great. But anyway, everybody, thanks for joining me today. This has been a great day for Big Apple Hockey. It's been a great day. We never had a stream go over 104 eyeballs on us, or even 100 eyeballs. I think we never got over 90. We got to over 330 in this stream right now. Unbelievable. Columbus Blue Jacket fans, you should be happy. Devils fans, Islander fans, there's going to be a pivot. Just like Ross used to say on Friends, pivot. Flames fans, I wish you guys the best. And I really hope that their plan B comes to fruition. I did do a write-up on the Flames as well. So, and I know they got some prospects in there. They got a very good prospect in the minor leagues. I don't know if he's NHL ready yet. So that's just it. A lot of tacos. So everything got smaller except for one thing. You're damn right, Buster. Everybody, again, thank you very much for joining us today. Hopefully, we're going to be on tomorrow morning. Hopefully, that we're going to have some more stuff for you. We're going to be on, by the way, once again, soon enough. Thank you all very much. It has been great talking with you. If you haven't done it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. You've all been great. Check out best video games, best hockey video games of all time on our channel. That's actually one of my favorite ones that I went over. And yeah, Matthew, I'll see you tomorrow. Best way to say it.